Okay. Last class we are trying to understand map implementation remaining classes. We completed linked hash map for storing insertion order, weak hash map for storing with weak references, identity hash map for storing reference wise hash code, and then hash table synchronization. If you want to store entries with multi-threading, thread safety, then hash table is legacy collection. Then next, properties class. Properties class is not meant for storing properties in Java program. It is meant for loading properties from properties file. Okay. Now, if you want to work with properties, there are two approaches. Number one, you create Java program. In Java program, you add properties and store them in the properties file. Or you have already properties file is there, read the properties from properties file. Any one of the approaches you can follow. Generally, properties object is used for loading the properties from the properties file. I will teach you both programs. Please try to understand. First storing, then loading. Try to understand architecture. This is my Java program. Inside Java program, first I will create properties object. Properties object is a key value pair. Na? Properties is a subclass of hash table. So it is a key value pair. So properties object is created, key, and then what? Value. In a properties class, we have a method called what? Put. But we don't use put. Why? Put method parameter is object. Value is also object. That means inside properties object, I can store any type of object as a key, any type of object as a value. Then the problem is properties object is meant for storing these properties inside a file. Na? After storing properties inside a file, when you open this file, I must read that properties. I must understand those properties. Then the properties must be what type? String comma string. Okay, if we call put method, you will be allowed to pass any type of object as a key and a value, but I should accept only string. For that, there is a alternative method is given called set property. What method name? Set property. Whose parameters are only what? String comma string. Remember, stack is a subclass of vector. Using stack, we can call add method to store. We can call get method for retrieve, but it's a bad programming. We have stack with what? Push method, and stack with what? Pop method. For retrieving objects in last in first out order, we have a method called pop. Like our stack class has a extra method. Same way, inside properties class, we have a special method called what? Set property for storing the property. Get property for retrieving the property. Get property of, you should pass what? String property name. And these two methods are for storing the property and retrieving the property. But further, I want to save the property inside the file. For that, there is a method called what? Store. What method name? Store. And I want to load properties from the properties file. For that, there is a method called what? Load. Store, load. Okay, tell me now. First, I wanted to create properties object and I want to set property and then store those properties in the file. Later, I want to load the properties and read and display the properties. So how many programs we are writing? Two programs. One is set and store. Second is load and get. Let's see now. I will write complete program. I'll remove the existing. Properties class is used for storing permanent set of properties. For storing and reading properties from a file. Which file? Properties file. Properties file. We must use properties object. A property is a name and value pair. In a property, a name and value separated by equal. Each property is placed one separate line as below. Employee number equal to employee name equal to, department equal to, experience equal to. For storing above properties in a program, we will use properties class object. For storing above properties in hard disk, storing place I can say saving. For saving above properties in a hard disk, now we will use a file with a dot properties extension. What is the difference between properties and other map object? Properties accepts only string objects as key and value. When we store properties in a file, they stored in they saved in string format and stored one property in one line with equal to operator as separator. This won't happen with other map objects. The best example for properties object usage is reading JDBC driver values from a file in JDBC application like this. Properties class provides only one constructor for creating empty properties object. Then properties class provides below 5 methods. First one, set property, get properties, all properties. If I don't know property name, I want to retrieve all properties. Then store and then load. Where you want to store in a file, file writer. From where you want to read, load, file reader. Storing purpose, file writer. Reading purpose, file reader. Below program shows creating properties class object, setting or adding properties to properties object, then storing those properties in properties file permanently. Okay. Now, let me write this program completely for your understanding. Look at here. I want to store this employee data. Okay. First, I should create which object? Properties class object. Properties. Properties props equal to new properties. Empty properties object table is created. Now storing properties here. Props dot. What is the method? I can call put method. But parameter what? Object. So I'm changing to set property. What is the parameter? String. Set property of double quotes employee number 7279. 7279 can I write directly? No. It should be a string. Next, employee name HK or Hari. Employee teachers. Full stack Java development. Next, experience 20+ years. This is my data. Now I am displaying system.out.println props. Tell me, this props object maintain these properties in insertion order or hash code order? Hash code order, because it's a subclass of hash table class. That means look at there, they are storing in zigzag order based on the hash code. Okay, now I want to store them permanently inside a file. For that, in props calls, there is a method called what? Store. Store, where you want to store? Inside a file. New file, reader or writer? File writer. New file writer of. New file writer of. Into which file you want to store? emp.properties. Tell me, properties extension is mandatory for convenience? For convenience, it's not mandatory. You can write .txt also. Extension, file extension, no need to be properties. Extension can be .txt. But for Java programmer, easy understanding, it contain properties. I'm taking file name as what? Data properties. This is not for operating system. This is for Java people. And I want to provide some description as a heading of the file. In description, I want to provide, what is that? Employee information. Okay. And then here I'm writing system.out.println properties are saved in a file. Save. Let's see now, run this program. Okay, this is the properties and properties are saved in the file. Now my question, try to think and tell me, did I create this file? No. But file writer automatically create that file now. Now go to Eclipse and here project refresh. Observe here, file is created automatically. Open this file. Now look at there, employee information, what we have written, description, following by our first property, second property, third property, fourth property. Properties are not saved in the insertion order, they are stored in the hash code order. So my properties file ready. Now I want to read those properties. Reading is called reading or loading? Loading. Then I am creating another Java file. I'm creating another Java file, loading, properties underscore load. Let me delete everything for understanding. Look at that, below program shows loading properties from dot properties file, retrieving property values from properties object. Then first, if you want to load, first I need a properties object, na? Properties props equal to new properties. Tell me, here properties object created with properties are empty object. Then into this empty object, I want to load props dot. What is the method name? Load. There is a two load methods available. What is that? Input stream parameter and reader parameter. Which one is recommended? Reader. What is reader? New file reader of, from which file you want read? Double quotes emp dot properties. emp dot properties. Then by the time this line execution completed, all properties are loaded into props object. Then I am printing sysout of. Tell me, first I am printing props. Okay, before loading, just after creating object, before loading. Here what is printed? Empty properties object. Here printed properties are from file. Empty first, then loaded. You are just wanted to print or retriever? Retrieve. For retrieving purpose, I should write string employee number equal to props dot. What is the method name? Get properties of. Get property of. Which property? Employee number. Hello, Java is case sensitive. The property name is uppercase, you must pass uppercase. Lowercase, pass lowercase. Mixed case, pass that mixed case. Okay, currently all are lowercase. So I'm passing lowercase. Name, props dot ename. Next, teachers. Experience. And I print all the values on console. Double quotes, employee number / t colon plus employee. Anna students, are you there? All are silently listening. Pin drop silence maintaining. Good. Look at that. The data available in properties object is zigzag order, but I am retrieving in my own required order. Okay. So there is no rule that we have to retrieve in the same order. This is sequential accessing or random accessing. Random accessing. Okay. I can access data randomly by passing the keys. So this is the story about properties object storing, loading. In future, either in advanced Java or in Spring Boot microservices working with the properties file, you have to work like this. Now tell me, most of the time you will not work with storing, you will always work with what? Loading. Okay, clear? Right. With this, we completed properties. Any doubts? Now let me show you tree map. Tree map is a collections framework collection. It is available from Java 1.2 version. It is an implementation of navigable map, which is a subinterface of sorted map. The tree map is used for storing entries in which order? Sorting order. The sorting order can be key-based ascending order or key-based descending order. Generally, people say ascending order. It's not ascending order. It's depending on you, how you are supplying sorting. In that order, it will be stored. If you want store in descending order, tree set will store in descending order. If you want to store in ascending order, tree set will store in ascending order. It's depending on you ask. For example, you are the student. Tell me in register, school register, students are stored in name-wise order or number-wise order? Name-wise or number-wise? Number-wise, not name-wise. The number, student number is decided based on what? Name only, na? Alphabetical number or name only, na? Or admission taken wise? Not admission wise, alphabetical order. Name wise, alphabetical order will be stored and student number will be assigned. Okay, next. If you are going to prayer place, early morning prayer there, na? Of course, nowadays schools are apartments, no prayers. Our class lo aduguchini prayer chesukodam. But in village level schools, if you take, we have a sufficient ground and all people should assemble in the ground class wise. Class wise you are standing. In class wise you are standing height wise. Yes or no? Left to right class wise. In one class height wise you are storing. Yes sir? That means that is called sorting order. So many places we have to store objects in sorting order. That sorting which order? Ascending order. Now tell me. This is very important. Now you are going to competition for food eating. All entire class should go, but food eating competition you are going. Then tell me, ascending order or descending order? More eating people will be first, less eating people will be last. That is what? More to less. Ascending or descending? Descending. So tell me, there are some places we should order the objects on which order? Descending order. Am I right? So tree set or tree map stores objects, key object, sorting order. That sorting order is not a fixed ascending order. Tree map, look at here, very, very important. Tree map doesn't have any default sorting order. The sorting order is decided by the passed key object. The sorting order is supplied by the adding key objects class. The adding key objects class. Are you following? Now tell me, for example, if you take your hard disk, it's the best example for you to understand. This is my folder. Okay, go to this folder. Your folder. Okay, let me take this one. Tell me, in this folder, files are stored, na? By default, files are stored in which order? Name-wise, alphabetical. C, A, B, C. Okay, this is maybe date modified wise. Name-wise, I am storing. Name-wise, alphabetical order. 01, 02, B, C, C, I, N, no, N, O. Right? I don't like alphabetical order. I want type-wise. Type-wise, I want to store. Click on type. Then type-wise, .pdf, .txt, 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 .doc, .doc. Okay, again click on type. Now again, now this time coming in alphabetical ascending order. A, B, C, D, 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 A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, P is going here. Okay, now date modified wise I am taking. Okay, size wise I am taking. Then tell me, if you take a class with multiple objects, these objects I can store in one order, No. Either ascending order or descending order. And next, which property wise? Either name wise or date modification wise or type wise or size wise. That means the file is an object. It contains how many properties? Properties are non-static variables. How many are there? 4. Name is a one variable. Date modifying is one variable. Type is one variable. Size is one variable. You are storing file objects to the folder. The folder is nothing but, or the drive is nothing but what? Tree set or tree map. If you want to store your file objects in tree set or tree map, there is a default sorting order. When you create a folder and store the files inside that folder, by default, the files are stored in which order? Name wise, ascending order. I don't want ascending order, I want descending order. Then you click on that name. By default, folder developer, the software developer, organizing the name in what? Ascending order. You, user, other programmer, you want to store the file name wise descending order. You changing. Next, I don't want name wise. I want different property. Date modified wise, either ascending or descending. Okay. Type wise ascending or descending. Size wise ascending or descending. That means whenever you are sorting object, there is a one default sorting order. Okay. If you want, means other developer, this class developer is providing one default sorting. Other class developer don't like that objects in the default sorting, different sorting want. Okay, you can also have facility to supply the different order. The different order is called what? Custom sorting order. Every object contain number 1, default sorting order. Default sorting order. Number 2, custom sorting order. Order one order, multiple orders, multiple order. Default sorting order 1, but custom sorting order many. Then tell me, both will be supplied by whom? Default sorting order supplied by adding object, adding, okay, the class developer whose objects are storing. Okay, next tell me, who will provide custom sorting order? The class developer, class user, user. Okay, nothing but collection object creation developer. Collection object creation developer don't want to store objects in the natural sorting order. So he will supply another sorting logic. Then tell me, how can we supply logic? How can I supply sorting logic? For that, there is interface called what? Comparable. What is the interface name? Comparable. There is also another interface called comparator. What is the interface name? Comparator. If you want to supply default sorting order logic, you must use what? Comparable interface. If you want to supply custom sorting order logic, you must use what? Comparator. So default sorting order is comparable. Custom sorting order is comparator. Observe now, I am creating a class called student. Everyone should answer, okay? Open bracket, closed bracket, I have written. Tell me, is this class suitable to add its objects to the collection? Is this class compatible to store its objects to the collection? Compatible or not compatible? Not compatible. Why? Come on, why? Can I take class tomorrow at 10 a.m.? Tell me now. This student class is not compatible to store objects in the collection. Which collection? All collections. List, set, map, sorted set or sorted set or sorted map. Why it is not compatible? Once you store objects in the collection, later when I search, they should found with what? Data, na? The objects stored in the collection must found with what? Data. If you want to find the objects with the data, I must override equals method. Tell me, if I override equals method, objects are searched by what? Data. But tell me, if I only override equals method, it is compatible to store and search in which collection? List. Not suitable to store in set sorted. Understand? Why? List will store objects in group and find or linear searching. Linear searching. Linear searching directly equals method is used. But if you want to store objects in set or map, what must also should override? Hash code. If you override hash code method, then now this object is eligible to store either in list or in set or in map, but not suitable to store in sorted map. Why not allowed to store in sorted map? If you want to store in sorted map, sorting logic should supply. Na? Hash code method meant for what? Grouping. Equals method meant for what? Comparing, but not for sorting. If you want to sort, this class must be implement from which interface? Comparable, and should override a method called what? Compare to. Which method? Compare to. Compare to method you must override. Let me show you this point in the system. I want to take tree set and come to the tree map. Okay. Set interface, tree set. Look at here. Tree set is a collections framework collection. It is available from one point. It is an implementation of navigable set, which is a subinterface of sorted set. Tree set is used for storing objects in sorting order. The sorting order can be either ascending order or descending order. Very, very important. The tree set doesn't have any default sorting order. It sorts or it's a sorting order is the order supplied by or is the default sorting order supplied by whom? The adding objects class. The adding objects class. This is very important. The natural sorting order of tree set is the adding. Okay, this is the important statement. Let me take separate. If Indra asks a question, what is the natural sorting order of tree set? Everybody saying ascending order, that is wrong. The natural sorting order of tree set is the adding object supplied sorting order. It may be ascending order, may be descending order based on any property available. For sorting objects, internally tree set uses comparable interface comparative method or comparator interface compare method. For supplying default sorting order along with adding object, we must use comparable interface. Repeating again, for supplying default sorting order, whom along with the adding object, for supplying default sorting object with the adding object, we must use comparable interface. For supplying custom sorting order, how? Separately by other programmer, we must use what? Comparator interface. Now tell me, first I want to understand, a lot of points are there. Okay, let me hold all these points. I'm removing. I will write again. Wow, more this much code. Yeah, small code. Not that much code. Okay, how much? Small code, very small code. First, I will work with string class, easy understanding purpose. Tree set of which object? Any type of object. Object I am taking. Object TS1 equal to new tree set. All are you following up? Check, respond. So that we can complete tree set today. Tomorrow we can have complete revision on core Java. Okay, start from first chapter to last chapter. And if anything pending, if you want to know something, if you want to take extra classes, I will take. But officially we will close tomorrow. Okay, na? Officially we will close tomorrow. If you are feeling something more I want, because I don't have any new batch, you don't have, hey, Monday onwards you cannot attend, no? You must go to AWS class. Okay, Sundays we will plan. Okay, na? Sundays we will plan. If you want anything extra want me to teach, I will take Sunday classes. Now tell me, tree set TS1 equal to new tree set. I want to add TS1 dot. What is the method I should call? Add up. Double quotes A. Check out fast response. And now system dot out dot println. First, I am writing system dot out dot println TS1. What happened? A object is stored or not? Yes. Now I am storing another object called C. Now tell me, is the C stored or not stored? Not stored. Stored. Where? Insertion order or sorting order? Sorting. Sorting is ascending or descending or the string supplied order. String supplied order. The string class supplied order is ascending order. Low to alphabetical ascending order. First, what is available? A. Next, what is available? C. C stored. Left side or right side? Right side. Control F11. Now, I am storing B. B will store where? Left side or right side? Is it directly stored? Is it directly stored or compared and stored? With whom? Available elements available in the tree set. First B compared with A. Found. B found smaller or greater? Small, lesser or greater? Greater. Greater means right side. Then compared with what? C. Found lesser or smaller or? Smaller or bigger or? Smaller. Smaller means left side. When you are adding first object directly stored. Second object compared with the first object, decide the position smaller, equal, bigger. If it is a smaller, left side store. If it is equal, not store. If it is a bigger, right side store. C compared with A, found it is a bigger, right side stored. Now, B compared first with what? A, found a bigger, right side already object available. Again, B compared with what? C, found a smaller, then stored, left. Left side A is there, right side C is there. Then what happened? This B is moved to right side. Sorry, C is moved to the right location. In the middle location, B is stored. Finally, what is output coming? ABC. Tell me, is it an insertion order, ASCII order, or sorting order? Sorting. Now, let me check with the string class. Control Shift T, string class. Tell me, in a string class, if you want to store a class objects to the tree set, it must implement comparable interface, na? Dekho, this string class implements which interface? Comparable. And compulsory should override or implement which method? Compare to. Okay, compare to method should be implemented. Compare to. Look at that. Compare to method is implemented by comparing the data of the string. String object content is compared, objects are stored. Everyone understand? Now, very important point. What is the return type of compare to method? Compare to method return type is not Boolean. If it is a Boolean, try to understand. If comparative method return type is a Boolean, what it return? If comparative method return type is Boolean, what it return? True or false? Hey, with the true or false, what I can know? C is equal or not equal. If equal, don't store. Not equal, store. Where? Either left side or right side. When left side? If smaller. When right side? Bigger. That's why Boolean is not work here. Here I need to return three values. Smaller means negative. Equal means zero. Equals means what? Zero. Bigger means positive. Okay, na? Listen carefully. Negative, zero, positive means return type is what? Int. Compare to method return type. When you want to compare two values and I want to return three different values, then we have to choose what? Int. Okay. Inside equals method, it is compared two objects by using double equal to operator. Why? Because you want to generate true or false. But inside comparative method, you must return Boolean true false or return number. Then we'll use minus operator. Which operator? Minus operator. So minus operator will generate number. The double equal to operator will generate a true or false Boolean. So tell me, inside comparative method, what is available? Equals method, such a minus operator. How it will work? First, whenever we store first object, double quotes A dot comparative of double quotes A is called. Okay, comparative of double quotes is called and directly stored. It will not consider what value written because it's a first object. Directly stored in first location. Directly stored in first location. Online students, respond, Nana. Tell me. Now, second object when stored, what is called? Double quotes C dot. What method is called? Comparative of double quotes already available object A. Then tell me, comparative method internally subtract existing object. Then whenever you use minus operator, can apply on string? No, it will apply on character. If you remember comparative method in string handling chapter, first character minus first character in first string, first character in second string. Now it will compare with what? 90, 7, 8, 9. 99 minus 97. What it written? What? 2. 2 is negative number or positive number? Positive number. Okay. Let me make this directly like this. Okay. 99. This is the internal comparison minus operator. And now converted to ASCII number. 99 minus 97 returns what? Positive. The 2 na, 10 na, 11 na, we don't care. What is that? Positive. Positive means right side. Okay, it's a bigger. So store what? Right. C is store right side of A. Then next, when I store double quotes B, everyone tell me, double quotes B dot comparative of double quotes A. First object is what? A. And then it compare what to what? Double quotes B minus double quotes A. Now, what it compare here? ASCII number. What the ASCII number? 98 minus 97 returns what? Positive. Positive means what? Right side. Right side means already. Right side already object is available. So what it will do? It will ignore or compare. It repeat the comparison with what? C. C. B minus C. 98 minus 99. Returns what? Negative. Negative means what? Left. Finally, we will get output A comma B comma. Everyone understand how the sorting internally happening? Tell me. In a list implemented classes, set implemented classes, map implemented classes, add method, put method internally called hash code, double equal to operator and equals method, because they just want to know equal or not equal. But tree set wanted to know equal, if not equal, bigger or smaller. For that, it doesn't use equals method, double equal to operator. It uses only comparative method. Now tell me, can tree set accept incompatible objects, heterogeneous object? Can you store 5 in a tree set? Yes or no? Na? Yes sir? Where? Based on the, you must compare integer with a string to know its position. And tell me, you make students and animals stand on height wise order. Huh? You look at me seriously, kya bolta rahe? Students, animals, how can I combine? Right? Yes or no? Make students and chairs sorting order and either weight wise ascending order, and how can I compare? So tell me, comparison for sorting can be done only with what? Homogeneous objects. Homogeneous objects only we can store. So if you try to store heterogeneous object, we will get exception. Class cast exception. Because integer cannot be cast to string for comparison, we will get class cast exception. So what the rule number one? Tree set doesn't accept heterogeneous object. Next, is it possible to store null? Null dot comparative of double quotes leads to null pointer exception. Null is allowed or not allowed? Not allowed. At least one null allowed? No. Null pointer exception. Now, answer all these questions, our 12 questions. First point completed. What is that? What is tree set? Next, why tree set? And then next, it is a non-synchronized. It is an ordered collection. Why? Retrieving order is guaranteed. Always sorting order we will get. Next, it's implement data structure. Red, black tree backed by tree map. The object storing in tree set background will store in tree map. Tree map maintain objects in which data structure? Red, black tree. Sir, what is the red to black two colors? How it is maintaining? I also don't know. I didn't study. I told you already. Tree data structure, I am not going to touch. If I touch a tree data structure, whatever data structures I have explained now, everything will be erased from your brain. Such a complex data structure is trees. This is set. I mean a tree data structure. So I'm not touching. And there are different types of trees available. And there are different type of sorting algorithms available. So I am not going to touch that part. I told you 70% of data structures I will cover. What are the data structures I cover? Growable array. Next linked list. And next list. Actually linked list is nothing but list. Growable array I covered. Linked list I covered. Stack I covered. Hash table I covered. Table data structure. Hash table I covered. Now I will cover queue. But a queue to understand first comparable comparator knowledge is required. Queue I will cover. Okay. And then trees I will touch but not in depth. Okay na? So that these 5 data structures are 70%. Remaining data structures are what? Trees, graphs. Trees and graphs and heap. Trees, graph, heap. There are 3 things are there. These 3 are 30%. The 30% interested people, you struggle and learn with the help of ChatGPT. Don't ask me. Next week. 1 minute. Okay. Tell me, it's a default capacity. When a tree born, it has any branches? No, 0. Increased by 1. Inside tree set, we can store only which type of objects? Comparable. That too homogeneous. Both. Actually, duplicates also we can store by our own logic. I can store, but later we cannot find. Problem will come. That's why I'm removing duplicate. Okay, na? What do you write? Comparable, homogeneous, unique objects. If I'm trying to store double quotes A again. If I'm trying to store double quotes A again. Double quotes A dot comparative of double quotes A. Double quotes, what do you call? Double quotes A minus double quotes A returns 0. 97 minus 97 returns 0. Stored or not stored? Not. Control F. Look at that, we have only ABC. Next. Inside tree set, we can store only comparable, homogeneous, unique objects. If you want to store non-comparable objects, we must supply custom comparator by using comparator interface. Okay, I can store non-comparable objects, but you must supply comparator interface. Null is not allowed, single null also not allowed. Objects are stored in sorting order, can also stored in insertion order, reverse insertion order. If we return what a fixed positive number or negative number directly. Remember hash map algorithm, hash code return fixed value 5, return fixed value true false. Okay, like that. In a comparative method, if you return fixed value positive value means what? Right and insertion order. Negative number if you return left means what? Reverse insertion order. IO means not input output insertion order. Objects can be retrieved only in sequential order because it's set. In adding, searching and removing operation, tree set internally uses comparable dot compare to or comparator dot compare. Tree set has 4 constructors. If I create an object by using no param constructor, it internally uses comparable. If you create tree set by using comparator in parameter, then it will not use a comparable, it use what? Comparator. So presently we are working with what? No parameter constructor. Dekho either. Now tell me, finally you concluded that array tree set doesn't store heterogeneous object, it will store only homogeneous object. Then in that case, can I create generic the type of object you want to store integer? I want to store integers. TS2 equal to new tree set of. Now tell me, TS2 dot add of, I am storing 5. TS2 dot add of, I am storing 7. TS2 dot of add, I am adding 6. System dot out dot println TS2. Everyone tell me, what is the sorting order? Ascending order or descending order? Come on, guess. Ascending order or descending order? It's depending on the integer class implemented order. In integer class, if it is developed ascending order, objects are stored in ascend. If it is developed in descending order, objects are stored in descending order. By seeing output, you confirm. In integer class, objects are stored in which order? Ascending order. Control Shift T. Control Shift T, and you can type integer class. You can see internal code. Integer class also implementing what? Comparable interface. Control F, find compare to. Inside compare to, compare method calling F3. Idhar dekho. If x less than y, returns what? -1. Okay. If not less than, equal to y, return what? 0 or return what? 1. 3 conditions. Negative number, if less than, negative number, greater than, positive number, equal 0. See background, they are using what? Ternary operator. Okay. Less than -1. Tell me now, background, they are also comparing with what? Ascending order. So objects are stored in ascending order. Up to now sleeping? Today, why not talking? Yesterday you are keep on talking with your friend, no? Today you are listening. Why? What happened? నువ్వు కాదు వాడు. నిన్న మాట్లాడుతూనే ఉన్నావు కదా, వంగి వంగి మరి. ఆ మూడోడేడు నీ పక్కన కూడా ఉన్నాడు, ఈరోజు రాలేదాడు. ఎగ్జామ్ ఉందా అందుకని మాట్లాడట్లేదా? ఇచ్చాడు ఆ అబ్బాయి నాతోనే మాట్లాడి, ఇంక నీతో మాట్లాడతాడు. థ్యాంక్ యూ. ఈరోజు మాట్లాడట్లేదు కదా, అందుకే థ్యాంక్ యూ. Tell me, buddy. I want to store, these are the predefined classes, na? I want to store my own class. Which class? Bolo. Example. Roju cheppali ade. Example. Sample. Example. TS3 equal to new tree set. TS3, 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 TS3. Now I want to store which object? Example class object. New example of 5, 3. 5, 3. Next, new example of 7, 9. New example, oh, this is not 9, this is 2. New example of 6, 8. I have written example objects and printed. What is the output will come? Guess and tell. What is the sorting order of example? Tree set must store given object in sorting order, na? Tell me. Example class object contain 5 in which property? మీ జీవితం ఎప్పుడు బాగుపడిద్దో ఏంటో. 5 is stored in which property? X. 6 is that right value stored in which property? Y. How many example objects available? 3. Now 3 objects must store in tree set in insertion order, hash code order, or sorting order. sorting order. Sorting means what? Ascending or descending? Tell me, ascending order on X property or ascending order on Y property or both X and Y property? Is it possible to store both on XY property, ascending, descending? Only one property you can consider. But in string class, yeah, string is have only one property, value. Integer also have only one property, value. But example class contain how many properties? Two. Bolo. On X tree set will store example object on X property ascending, descending, Y property ascending and descending, or it confused? Again and again I am repeating. क्या है? ट्री सेट को दिमाग नहीं है. ओके, ट्री सेट को दिमाग नहीं है. ट्री सेट का नेचुरल सॉर्टिंग ऑर्डर क्या है? एडिंग ऑब्जेक्ट सप्लाइड सॉर्टिंग ऑर्डर है. ट्री सेट किसको पूछता? पूछा? आस्क व्हाट क्या बोलता ना, पूछता ना. हिंदी वेरी कन्फ्यूजन. ఓకే, ఎవరిని అడుగుద్ది? ట్రీ సెట్ బాబు నీ ఆబ్జెక్ట్స్ ఏ ఆర్డర్లో స్టోర్ చేయాలరా అని ఎవరిని అడుగుతుంది? ఆ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ క్లాస్ అడుగుతుంది. ట్రీ సెట్ క్లాస్ విల్ ఆస్క్ దిస్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ క్లాస్ యువర్ ఆబ్జెక్ట్స్ వాంట్ టు స్టోర్ ఇన్ విచ్ ఆర్డర్? దెన్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ క్లాస్ టెలింగ్ ఆర్ నాట్ టెలింగ్? ఉదర్ देखो, టెలింగ్ ఆర్ నాట్ టెలింగ్? హౌ ఇట్ విల్ టెల్? How example class will tell to tree set you have to store my objects in order, in which order? By implementing comparable interface. Is it implementing comparable interface? No. Then tell me, example class like you sitting silently, right? This is faculty I am asking. Understand or not understand? Smiling and looking at me. ఏందిరా చెప్పండిరా, అర్థమైందా? అబ్బెబ్బెబ్బే నేను ఎప్పటికీ మాట్లాడు. I will attend interview, sir. Interview ask a question. Again, there also I'll smile. You are going to show your smile face to interviewer. Are you going as an actor? Tell me now. Tree said, getting information from example class that in which order to store? No. That means example is a comparable object or not comparable? Non-comparable. Tell me, what is the rule? Inside tree set, we can store only comparable, homogeneous, unique objects. If you want to store non-comparable object, currently example class is comparable or non-comparable? Non-comparable. Tell me, integer is comparable, that's why able to store. String is comparable, that's why we are able to store. Example is comparable or not comparable? Not comparable, that's why we cannot store. If you try to store, it will throw class cast exception. Class cast exception, we cannot store. Okay, one object also we cannot store. Comment it, comment it, comment it. So tell me, if you want to store your user defined class object, again repeating, if you want to store your user defined class object, the class must be implementing from comparable. Now I am taking another class called what? Sample, sample, and then what? Sample. And type is what? Sample. Now tree set class is asking, array sample class, tell me in which order your sample class objects want to be stored? Sample class is now responding to the tree set because it's implementing from compare. అలా చూస్తారేంట్రా? Okay, I deleted it, implements. Then go back to tree set and save it. Now compile. Look at there. We'll get runtime error, class cast exception. No, I want to store my sample objects. Then make it to talk to tree set. How? By implementing, make this class compatible to tree set. Implements, implements comparable. In a comparable, you want to compare which type of object? Same class, sample. Okay, then when you write implement comparable, comparable interface method I should implement. What is the method available in comparable? Compare to. Okay, now implement compare to. Tell me, I have already overridden hash code method equals method to make my sample class compatible to store in list classes, set classes, map classes. Now I am implementing which method? Compare to, for making this class compatible to store its object in tree set, tree map. Okay, tell me. Comparative method is called by using second object dot comparative of first object. Newly adding object dot comparative of already added object. Then the newly adding object is called current object. Already available object coming to the comparative method as current object or argument object? Argument object. Then I should read x value of S2 minus S1 value of x. Then how to write now? Tell me. S2 will come into this dot x equal to minus minus. S1 is coming into parameter s dot x. What logic you have written? Current object data minus argument object. If you compare or if you subtract current object data minus argument object, then objects are stored in which order? Ascending order. It's a clue to you. In the interview, in the written test exam, they given a sample class with a comparative method with the minus operator, and then test class asking, tell me in which order objects are stored. Don't confuse. Look at there. Current object minus argument. Blindly you choose what? Ascending order. On which property? Which property I have used here? X. X property ascending order. And tell me now, will you have any exception now? No. Sample object stored. On which order? Tell me here. Output what will you get? SA of 5. Yeah, sorry. SA of 5 comma 3, 5 comma 3 comma SA of 6 comma 8, 6 comma 8 comma SA of 7 comma 2. 6 comma 8 ఎందుకు వస్తుంది? ఎవరికి -2? x minus y రాస్తున్నావా? నాట్ x minus y, x. ఇది మాత్రమే చూడాలి, ఇది చూడకూడదు. In comparative method, which property you comparing? X. Control F11. 5, 6, 7. Okay, na? Tell me the algorithm. First, S1 dot comparative of S1 directly stored. Next, S1 dot S1 or S2 na? S2 dot comparative of S1. What is compared? S2 dot x minus S1 dot x. So how x is coming? You only written logic in comparative method, Gajini fellow. What is the x value? X value of S2, 7 minus 5. What will you get? Positive. Positive means right side. Repeat. Now third object I am storing. S3 dot comparative of S1. Then S3 dot x minus S1 dot x. What is S3? 6 minus 5. Positive. Right. Right side already object available. Then S2 dot comparative of S2. Sorry, S3 dot comparative of S2. S3 dot x minus S2 dot x. 7 minus 6 minus 6 minus 7. What? Negative. Negative means left. Okay, now this is the. So finally tell me, if you want to store your class objects in a tree set, your class must implement from comparable interface, override comparative method. Bolo, I don't like ascending order. My sample objects I don't want to store in ascending order. I want to store in descending order. Descending ante reverse. Reverse. What reverse? S dot x minus this dot x. Now tell me, what happened here? Current object means argument object minus current object. What order? descending order. Okay, na? Control F11. Look, 7, 6, and then what? 5. Okay? Now, tell me, either in ascending order or in descending order, are duplicate objects stored or not stored? Not stored. I am trying to store same object, duplicate object. 6, 8. Stored or not stored? Not stored. Now carefully think and tell me. I am giving another algorithm. This is first algorithm ascending. This is second algorithm descending. Now one more algorithm I am giving. Return 0. Any compile time error? No. Then what happened? If I return 0, what happened? S1 dot comparative of S1 directly stored. S2 dot comparative of S1. Data comparing or directly returning 0 now. Directly return 0 and left or right or don't store. S3, 0, don't store. Then finally, how many objects available? Only one object, first object. If I return directly 0, no compile time error, no runtime error, what happened? Only first object is stored. Remaining objects are not stored even though they are unique. Then commenting. I am returning a positive number 1. Positive number 1. Return 1. Then tell me, all objects are stored including duplicates. In which order? In insertion order. All objects are stored in insertion order, including duplicate. Why duplicate? Because where are you comparing data? You are written what? Positive number. Positive number means right, again positive right, again positive right, again positive right. Look at the duplicate object stored, na? Understand algorithm? This is project scenario, na? Interview scenario, na? Interview, written test exam. Next, return -1. Tell me, if I write return -1 means left. Tell me, all objects are stored in reverse insertion order, including duplicates. Look at the left side coming 6 8 6 8. Tell me, all these 3 cases are written test exam related cases. Tell me, what is the project case? Either ascending or descending. But ascending order is generally the preferred default sorting order. The preferred default sorting order. Generally, we always want to store smaller to bigger. Control F11. Okay, na? 5, 6, 7. Now, you may ask me a question. Sir, I don't want to store objects in ascending order, sir. I want descending order. Or I want Y property ascending order, Y property descending order. Then what to do? Then we should use comparator interface. Okay, na? So, comparator interface related code we will discuss in tomorrow class. Tomorrow class timing is 10 a.m. 10 a.m. or 9:45 a.m. 10, let me not, already last Sunday, I'm unable to come on the time. Okay. This Sunday, I think I can come. Okay. Let it be there, 10 a.m. Okay, now? Hope you will not sleep. Remember, set alarm, wake up by 10, join the class. I'll share the link on Google Classroom. Okay, now? 10 to 1, 3 hours. In middle, 15 minutes, chai break I will give. 10 to 11:30. And then by that Q class will be completed. Then 11:45 to 1, we will do complete core Java revision our syllabus. Okay, don't miss tomorrow class. Thank you. That's all for today's class. I will upload today notes in set implemented classes folder. Application what to do this. ఎప్పుడు రికార్డెడ్ ఎప్పుడు అడుగుతున్నావు?
ఆ, అడుగుతూ మార్కెట్లో పని ఉండే ఇంటికి వెళ్ళాను.
1 వీక్ తర్వాత అడిగితే వాళ్ళు ఎక్కడ